Welcome to the Buried Dreams podcast. I'm your host, Elle Morris. This episode, we have Berna Canbeldek, an acrobat and reality TV star in Berlin, Germany. It was a pleasure to get to know Berna on a personal level and hear her inspiring story. Enjoy. Thank you for being here today, Berna.
Hi, everybody, first of all. Hi, guys. Yeah, exactly. I grew up in a circus. It's the best childhood for every child, I think.
Yeah, were your parents in the circus?
No, so actually the background is a little dramatic, but then the outcome is amazing. So it's okay to get into drama when you come out happier. I don't know, in the school time when I was a child, my teacher always said like, oh my God, she's so active and, she's like different than the other children and whatever. And then she said like, there is a circus. Then she brought me there. And that was not legal. It was illegal.
It was an illegal circus.
No, it was an illegal move for my teacher to
hang out with you outside of work, outside of school.
In the school time, actually, she brought me to circus.
Oh, wow.
So weird. But I'm so happy for her because she formed my life because of this move. But she did it because she could see that there is something going on at home, what isn't maybe safe. She wasn't sure, but she saw it,
I think there's a lot of rules around these professional relationships, and I think in certain cases they're fine. But for the general safety of everyone, it's good to have these types of boundaries because not everyone's able to respect them. But I think in special cases, it's fine to develop a deeper relationship, especially if it's pure and innocent. And
totally. I think it was amazing. It was good to go. Yeah, like what she did was great. And then we had like also with the school we had a circus a week in the circus because it was just around the corner. So in the circus week, the trainer told my teachers and my parents like, oh, this girl is very talented. Don't you think she should stay and she should go for it as an artist and stuff. Back in the days, we didn't know what an artist or acrobat meant, but we
You're like, fun, I can play.
God, I was so into it. I was like, I don't want to do like anything else in my life. I thought I'm going to be the best acrobat in the world. And I think I probably did everything I could do, So first of all, my parents weren't really happy. But then, the trainers, they were like, okay, you know what? You come to the show, you see your child. If you think it's not good, you take her away. But if you think she's good, then you leave her, like you let her do her thing. And that's what happened, actually. She came to the show, and I remember she stood up in the final clapping and screaming like, whoa. And I saw my mother. I was like, yeah, okay, cool. That was the start of my becoming an artist, acrobat, dancer, blah, blah, blah.
When did you feel that you were starting to get really good at it? Did you make a career out of it eventually?
Yeah, actually, I have to be honest, I don't remember the first times because I was 6-7 years old. I don't remember really, but I remember when I was like around 8. And I remember that I knew that I'm so good at it. And it's so weird to say because back in the days, I was like not ever saying this, but I always knew in my heart that I'm so talented in it because I saw different children doing the same thing that I just did. And I saw their mistakes, but not like mistakes, like how they could change the move to that it looks a little different or better or whatever. So I saw always a different aesthetic point as well in it. And so when my trainer wasn't seeing it or whatever, I was like going to this child, be like, you should do it like that. And then, and then this child did it and it looked so different and so more beautiful. So I saw that I'm different, that I saw the beauty in it, not just the tricks and the technique, but more the artistic ways again from the visual.
You were connected with it.
Yeah, like how it, and also when I always did a show, I don't know what it was, but I was always emotional and really dramatic on stage, and that made the people so, I don't know, I saw their eyes getting wet and stuff. It's so cool. I loved it. Yeah.
That's really incredible. So when did you end the circus? I mean, did you ever do it professionally where you were getting paid for it?
So our circus stayed on one place. It wasn't a moving circus, And then I was just becoming in love with artistic, like acrobatics. And my mother, she sent me to a sports school because she thought sports and acrobatics are the same things, but they are not. No. Sports are different things than
maybe gymnastics.
Not even. Circus is so much more connected with you. It's so spiritual, actually. Because gymnastics there's a wrong and a right. There's rules, and acrobatics there's so much to do. There's so much
you have a lot of freedom.
Yeah, so much. You can play with the music. You can play with your everything. You can play with everything. There is no numbers. Like you don't get a 10 or something. You are just free.
I see what you mean. There's freedom. I love freedom.
Me too. And that's a point. What's still my problem to this day, but whatever. So then when I was in the sports school, oh gosh, then I just remembered, realized with the other children that it's not the same thing that I do, because they did sports, they run, they were like gymnastics and whatever things. And I was like, I'm good in it, but I don't want this. It's not my style.
You don't like competition at all?
I do, but not in this way. It wasn't a competition for an award or whatever, money or whatever. It was for life. So it was a competition for life. Like these people were it's so fake already with their little, ages. And it was my thing. So I was like looking up some circus schools, and then I saw one. It's so crazy. I saw it on back in the days, the paper. We were reading paper, and I saw it on the paper. And my mom and stuff, they had a cafe, and I was in the cafe. I was seeing it. There was an audition. The audition was one day left already.
What was the circus called?
It's a circus school, the State School of Acrobatics and Ballet.
In Berlin.
And there's just one in whole Germany, and it was in the city I'm living. I was lucky because my parents would never allowed me to go to another city. I don't think so. So there was an audition, but the audition date was already gone by. So I was like, oh my God, oh no, and I can't go there, it's over. So I called it. I was like 13. I called the school.
So young.
Yeah, and I was like, I know the audition was like last week, but please, I'm the most talented. Can I come? And she was like, what? I was like, no, really? I didn't, blah, blah, blah. So she was like, okay, come tomorrow at this and this time. I skipped my school, went to this audition. They took me, and I didn't know how to tell my mom. But then I told my mom, and then I went to the school.
You went to the school as a high school student?
As 13, I don't know what it is. It's the second.
It's called high school in America when it's like the late teens before 18.
It was a school. It was a circus school here. It was like a school with education part. So
you're educated, but then you would have your gym hours, sports hours, where everyone would practice acrobatics.
We have ballet hours, then acrobatics hours, then acting hours,
What were the kids like in these kinds of schools?
So it's a national circus and ballet school, so it's a lot of Russian people and German people, and it's a lot of history from not a good history part. It's more right.
Are you talking about the teachers or the students?
No, the teachers. So the whole history of the school is more strict, more more Russian, more German, da 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 da. And the children, they're so young, they became the way they wanted to have us, So it was a little weird to me because I came from a place who is free, circus, It's like we can do whatever we want. And then it was so straight. And to this, I was the first Turkish girl in the school. So they I got to know racism, as I said, in a different way I never heard before in my life. Mm-hmm. When they asked me my name, I said my name just as it is, and they made
because it's not German or Russian.
It's Turkish, and it sounds like a German male name, so they starting to make jokes about it, and I really quickly I remember after even 2-3 days. I felt so uncomfortable. I was every day crying in my locker room, every day thinking why do I have this name? I hate my name. or why do I look not like them? I hate how I look. And, and it started to be like, oh my God, I hate me. And then in the outside, because for them, I'm Turkish, I have to be aggressive for them. I always started to take their filter on me. So I was really comfortable and strong in front of them. But inside of me, I was so scared, so crazy.
I also see that when people tell you who you are, especially if it's like, oh, you're gay, you're gay, you're gay. And they're like, you know what? Fine, I'm gay. So what? And then people stop bothering you.
Yeah, but what does it even mean? Yeah, I'm Turkish. Oh, yeah, I'm gay. Or what? That means nothing. That has so much more into it. Like you're a person with a lot of moments, with a lot of character sides. It's not, what is it? Yeah, you're gay. Okay. Or what does this mean? For me, it means nothing. If somebody's like, oh, she's from America, or like, oh, she's from England. I can't use this. I'm not like, oh, okay, she's from
she's from America, so I already know who this person is.
What is it? Yeah. It says nothing to me. So yeah,
I did deal with that when I moved to Europe full time. I feel like many Europeans would have a bad taste in their mouth for me being American because of politics or whatever. A lot of times when I would meet a new person, they would say, oh, you're American? I hate Americans.
Yeah, but these actually for me, when people say that, it makes it so much easier to say that, to see their colors. So if somebody stands in front of me and be like, oh my God, what's your name again? It sounds like this. Or like, oh, you're Turkish. Oh my God, I've been in Turkey and I don't, whatever they say. It actually shows me really quickly that I don't want to interact with this person. And so I'm actually really happy that people are so dumb to show their colors,
and there's been many amazing people,
totally.
And a lot of times I think you can have like a few bad things happen to you from specific people that's pretty repetitive, where it puts a bad outlook on the whole. But I think a lot of times when people have these types of behaviors, it's because they're ignorant. They just don't know, or they were taught that.
Yeah, totally. I think racism is built up with this. It's built by ignorance and not knowing. I think if somebody could live better with more love or knowledge, why wouldn't they choose it? It's so stupid to say, no, I wouldn't choose still to be me. No, they all, like even me, if I don't know anything about something, and it's maybe the most beautiful thing, I'm happy to learn about it. And I hope it comes to me, the knowledge, So.
Yeah, but even me, when I was a kid, I've done stupid shit. And I look back at it, I'm like, how could I be so cruel? But it's because I was so ignorant. I had no idea. And I think through life, you start to learn. And like people are mean to you and you're mean to them. And
I never had this ever on me, but
you were never mean to people ever?
No, I never been. It's so weird to say, maybe, but I had a lot of not fights, but like of course talks, not really beautiful talks with people. But it's so weird when I became like more doing my stuff and stuff in the industry. People always told me like, how can you be so nice? It can't be. It's fake. And I am not. I am. Really have no cruel anything in me. It's so weird. Yeah. I never think, let's bring her down or let's take her down or like, I don't have that. It's so weird. I don't have it.
Most of that was when I was very adolescent. I'd run around with the mean girls and be like, yeah. Like in my younger years. But definitely as an adult, I relate to you the same. I have such a really big heart, and I genuinely care about others. And I think when I was a young girl and doing that, I was doing it to be cool probably, and not out of that's natural for me,
Yeah, to be accepted maybe somewhere.
It was to be accepted somewhere, to fit into some crowd. It was something I did to adapt.
It's tragedy.
It's a so tragedy. Sad. Yeah, it is. Yeah. And then when, like you said, you build these types of, when people are mean to you, you build these types of
walls and stuff. Yeah.
responses that are not to you, but you do it to protect yourself in a way. So maybe that's where it came from. But I've definitely stripped all that down, and I definitely relate to you as well. People tell me like, "There's no way she can be that nice. It has to be fake."
Yeah, I've heard it a lot in shows that I was in. Yeah.
You said you did a documentary with your brother at 11 or 12. So your brother was in acrobatics with you.
Yeah, my brother is still to this day, and now shout out to Bertan because he's just
Bertan
Canbeldek. Yeah, he is for me one of my, because people ask me like, who's your idol, blah, 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 and he's like one of my role model person as a human being, because he's like he's just the nicest person in this world. He's so cute, cool, sweet, amazing, everything, and he's so and cute and also talented a lot, because like he followed me. So I was his teacher, his trainer when I was 12. He was like 11. I trained him into acrobatics, and in the beginning he was just a clown and they did like some magician stuff. And then I went to the school and I realized they don't have enough men or male people, male acrobats. And I was like, oh my God, Bertan, you have to come, because this is something you will and can do for the rest of your life then, because there is not enough men in this world, you know. And so I was right. He did the school. He finished the school. He is an acrobat still to this day. He's working every day since 10 years or something. He's like the most successful acrobat. Like, he's crazy. So actually, I'm very happy that at least one of us made this work forever, because I changed my ways a lot of times, but he stayed into it, and he to this day he's just doing not just now, but he just
still doing acrobatics.
Yeah, totally, and he's so good in it. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
After you finished your school and you graduated, what did you do after?
I actually didn't graduate from the school.
You didn't?
No, because as I said, I've tasted racism in a different way when I didn't know about. Yeah, I didn't know that it was racism, but I felt not safe, not good, not allowed, not good. You know.
Was it your choice or was it a different situation?
It was a different situation. So it was like, the summer holidays came, and my father's father were really sick and in Turkey, and we wanted to go earlier into the holidays. So I asked the director if I can go earlier, and he was like saying really mean things, like just actually one sentence he said, like, if one more or less Turkish person in this world, it doesn't matter. And I was like, okay, wow. So I was spitting on him. Yeah.
Well, he was deserving, I have to say.
I think, normally I would say maybe I could talk about it, but no, he wasn't talking about something. He said a fact in his brain. In his brain, it was a fact. It was like, it's okay like that, what I said. And for me, it was like, how can you say this? And of course, I was more hurt because it's my grandfather. But again, it's just so disrespectful to think that you can judge anything, any pain from others, So I was so angry, and I did it. And into the next weeks, my mother were called. We talked with them, and they were like, she has to leave the school, and I was like, okay, wow, I'm the one who's leaving, not him. It's so funny, so weird, but that's a true life. So yeah, but back in the days, I didn't realize that this is called back then racism, or now,
Yeah, it definitely is racism.
Totally.
So you left the school and you were like, fuck that. What was your response? What did you do after?
No, when I was in the school already, I always thought about acting. Always. And I had one best friend, girlfriend, Monica, her name. She's still to this day a good friend of mine. And she changed the school into an acting school. And she told me about the school all the time. And I was like, oh my God, can I not come? And she was like, yeah, well, if you want to come, you have to hurry because the next audition is in a month, and blah, 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 blah. So I already was thinking about it, but I never thought I can go because I never thought that this spitting situation will happen and stuff. But when this happened, it just were like, okay, cool. So I'm going to this acting school anyway. I want to go there. So then I went to the audition in the acting school, and they took me, and I started just like a few weeks later. I started acting.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And then you were there until you were 18. How old were you when you made the transition?
No, when I made the transition, I was like around 15, 16. Yeah. And then when I was in the acting school, I started to do the school, which was horrible. I mean, the school, I've learned a lot about acting, but a lot of the system is so wrong built sometimes with schools, you know? It's like people send us to schools, like the system sent us to schools. Teachers think that they can do anything to any child or the students, and the students have to say, okay. But no, every student have a different sensibility, different history, different everything. And if you're in an art school, then hello, these childs are not normal because they want to become artists. So they have different feelings, different histories again than normal students. Because if you become an artist, it is most of the time you become an artist because it comes from somewhere. Some
sensibility is the perfect word to describe it, I think.
Totally. And if you cannot. I don't know. The school was just like really this one teacher, she was so horrible. She took like our pain and tried to break us with it. And she thought that's the best version to break people and make them feel more or whatever.
Some people want to break you like a horse.
It's so weird. I don't know what
weird.
it is.
They want to take who you are and break you down where they have complete control over you.
Exactly. But she said it because a lot of dangerous and toxic people explain it differently. They'd be like, if I break you, it's because you're then you start to open yourself. No, if I remember,
it's a mechanism of control.
Yeah,
it's not for the other person to open and behave. It's for the other person to have control over another human being. She broke me,
and I could never ever look in her face again. She broke me so hard. I was on stage, and she was like, she knew that I have problems with my mother. And she said, like, can you not cry? Because I was on stage, and I was like, why? I try, but I couldn't back then, you know. She was like, think about your mother who doesn't love you. And I was like, oh my God, how can she say this in front of my class, you know? So I started to cry. She was like, look at you now. And I'm like, no, I'm not crying because I will cry now forever when I needed it. I cry for real right now. And I hate you. You do embarrassed me, you know.
I've heard that actors do, when they need to cry, they do channel their traumas.
Yeah, but you have to choose it.
You have to choose it. So how did you learn to cry after that?
Now I can cry in a second. In 1 second.
It's funny you say that. When I was a little girl, people would be like, cry. I bet you can't cry. I'd be like, I'll bet you a t-shirt. Give me one of your t-shirts at the merch booth. And they'd be like, all right. Deal.
Yeah, but the thing is, you know, the weirdest stuff, what people shouldn't forget, what always happened to artists. If you're a singer, people are like, sing something. If you're like an acrobat, be like, oh, can you do spaghetti or whatever?
And I know, you're like a little...
Yeah, but if somebody's a bakerist or whatever, you don't say, oh, can you bake a bread now? No, it's... You sometimes you can't do in a second everything, and then it doesn't mean that you're bad and this is what you do. It's just... You need the circumstances. You need sometimes people there. I know a lot of actresses and actors who needs the situation, the scene, the moment, you know, and that's
like
fine.
The pressure, like.
Yeah, and that's totally fine. Or singers. I'm doing music, and I don't know if I could sing right now. Of course I can sing, but if it would be the same voice and the same feeling, because I'm more a stage person. If I'm on stage, I deliver. There is no way. There is no other way.
That.
I deliver. That's a fact. I know myself. Even if I'm crying before, 5 seconds before, if I'm tired, whatever I am, on stage, I'm delivering. I know myself, but it doesn't mean that I deliver every second of every form if you ask me to it, just because you think otherwise I'm not good at it. You know, that's not true. And I don't know, but this has to change, because people always be like, oh, you're an actor? Cry now. And you're like, why should I cry right now? Like, I'm happy right now.
I know, they treat you like a show animal.
Yeah.
So you went to this acting school and then you graduated from there?
No, also not.
I love you.
Yeah, because everything has to do with money as well, right? And back in
Yeah.
the days, till to this day, I don't know if I would pay this kind of money. So the last year after school, it was the camera acting part, and it costed a lot of money. And I hadn't this money, and I had not a good household, not a good home where I stayed. So I already were like, by the way, next to all of this, I started to dance. So this was actually my safe and rescue from all of this. I started to dance, break dance, and everything in the urban scene, and I started to battle, and I saw this other world, which are actually only free spiritual animals and doing their stuff. And so when I was in this acting school, I was like, okay, I have to go out because I don't have a lot of money. And I wasn't scared because I was like, anyway, I learned a lot about acting, what I need, and about acrobatics as well. And now I'm dancing. And now I'm also in love because I've just fell in love with a guy in Turkey. And I was like, I'm going to Turkey, whatever, So that was this part.
But you didn't leave to Turkey yet, right?
No, I was still in Berlin, but I was thinking about to go to Turkey, which wasn't happening straight away. I first went to Amsterdam for 1 year after this acting school as a trainer in a circus because I had no money and I had to make money.
Yeah, you do what you can and
but it was this now the desperate artist moment started. Like from this point on, I became 18, 19. Yeah, this part is a different part. Now this part made me to this girl who I am today, This is because before that it was just my childhood and I was so strong as a child. I never thought about problems because there were no problems and blah, blah, blah. But once I became my own person and I went out on this world, now I saw the real problems, like not real problems, but the real system and the real women in the system and stuff.
I think as a young girl, there's those legal barriers that kind of protect you. You're under your parents' control or protection in a way that kind of, in not always people are protected, but in a way it creates this barrier where you're not being hit on by older men and things like that.
Oh, I don't know.
And so when you're like 18 and you go out and you're in your first job and you go 19, 20, you're just now experiencing like these much older men hitting on you, unless you weren't protected. That's just my own experience.
Totally. Then if it's your experience, it's true,
Yeah.
Everyone who makes their experience, it's true. But it's always different. For me, I meant when I was a child, I just didn't know anything else but to be strong, to be good and concentrated and straight. As a child, I was like a grown up. And more and more I became grown up, I became more child in me. It's so weird. So it's a little bit like my age became older, my insecurities become younger. It's so weird. Because when I was
you think that's still true to this day?
Oh my God, now I'm like 18 sometimes. I'm like getting panic attacks from every fucking thing.
Yeah.
And when somebody looks at me, I'm like, why does he looks at me or he looks or she or whatever. But it's now I can just, I know what I can do against it and stuff. But as a child, you don't know. But as a child, I was just so grown up in my brain. I was like, I know what I want. I want
confident in yourself.
I was so confident. Yeah. But then I broke myself as well because I started to put my goals more high. So I had to do more for these things. So when I want to become something more big, you have to do more things. And then, of course, in this way, you learn more things that you didn't know about. Like, as you said, like you become also more sexy, whatever. And then things change, you change, your look change and everything changes. So, but then still your goal is very high. So you have to figure and juggle all these thoughts with the reality and whatever. So it's really confusing. Yeah. As a young girl as well. So confusing.
So you're working as a trainer at this place.
Yeah, it's a circus in Amsterdam. Yeah, it was a circus in Amsterdam.
What happened during or after? I mean, you said it was a time of the desperate artist moment, trying to survive. Were you trying to prove yourself?
At that time, I thought I'm a big failure because I stopped the circus school and I not stopped, but I didn't graduate from the school, the first school and the second school, and everyone else did. So I thought I'm the biggest failure. And back then I thought if you don't finish the school, you cannot become an acrobat. If you don't finish the acting school, you cannot become an actress. That's not true.
It's not true.
Not at all. But back in the time, I thought the system just wants that. If you have it black on white, like, on paper and be like, look, I'm a acrobat from there. And that doesn't, now I know, no, your skills is the deal.
Yeah, the skills are the deal.
Yeah, the skills are the deal. Nothing else matters. Because even if you're like from jail, you should get the same chance as from school for me. But I didn't have the mindset back then. I thought, okay, I'm a failure. Now I'm working as a trainer in a circus and I'm only 19 and oh God, and that's so bad. I did nothing right. But then, yeah, I just realized as how good I am as a trainer as well. And then I was like, wow, okay, now Berna, everything you do, it's actually really helping others as well. Everything you've been through, when you tell them, people, they're like so mesmerized by it. So, okay, maybe there is still things to do and things to go for. So then it happened that I became a boyfriend, that I fell in love with a guy from Turkey who was my first boyfriend, and I flew all the way to Turkey for him, and I wanted to stay 1 week and I stayed 9 years. But not with him. But the reason was him, but the later on standing there was a different meaning.
Yeah, so that's what changed. You went to Amsterdam for the 1 year. You guys were dating long distance, and then you decided to take the move to Turkey.
Yeah, totally. I stopped after a year in the circus because my contract was just a year. And then
is that where you started? I know you did the documentary. Is in Turkey where you started to do more television series and pursuing the acting?
Only television. I started to I went there with no knowledge, no thoughts, goals, nothing, just for him. And he was a dancer and I was a dancer. And then we went to battles and we danced battles. And
what is battles?
Battles. It's like if two crews dance against each other for money.
Oh, okay. What is that? There was that TV or movie.
You mean
with Channing Tatum? And,
not.
What you remember that
of course.
That series of movies.
Step Up. You mean Step Up?
Yes, that was my shit back in the day.
Really? And I don't. I'm from this time from Save the Last Dance and Honey.
Okay. Oh, Honey. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Honey
Okay,
is amazing.
girl.
Yeah, and I don't know. Oh, and by the way, you got served. That's the best movie by the way, just if you want to look it up, you got served.
I think I've probably seen it, but
you
I
got
can't
served with
recall
Omarion. He's amazing. But everyone.
I think I've seen it.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good movie. Anyway, yeah, and then we did battles, whatever, and then it was a really toxic relationship. I went out of it and became or fell in love with another dancer, which was totally a problem for the first boyfriend, whatever. Everything changed, and we started to sleep in a dance school because we had no money, and we slept at the ground from this dance school. And it was so sad because we literally had just one soup to eat together. Nothing else. For real. That's no joke, no cap. That's for real.
That's like a movie.
No, that's not a movie. That's real life. Real life becomes movies. Believe me, it's so hard. It was so hard. And his parents are really into religion, so they didn't know that we were together because I'm this German Turkish girl for him and I'm not good enough for their family, so he hid me, whatever.
Yeah. Wait, your family wasn't religious?
No, not really. My family is not family, but my parents, and totally. I love their view about things. I love their view into humanity.
Yeah, it seems like your parents gave you very good values.
it's healthy thoughts, and they're not against religion. If I wanted to read all about it and really believe in it, they're all about it.
Well, that's also healthy.
Yeah, totally. But they just say don't go or don't stand for something you don't really know. If you don't really read, don't think you know just because people or the mass is going with it, you know?
Well, yeah. I mean, it seems to be the case of, in my experience with Christianity, it seems like a lot of people would be Christians because their families are Christians, but nobody's actually read the Bible themselves.
That's what I say. Like, that's a system. It's like everything right now happened, you know? One person goes with a hashtag, everybody goes. But it's never a trend. It should be always a vision, a knowledge, something.
Yeah, that's really a beautiful thought. Don't follow something unless you've read it for yourself and it's something you actually believe. Yeah. It's really good advice.
Totally. I really like that on my parents. They gave it to us.
So you were staying at the dance school?
Yeah.
You were not with him. He was staying at his family home.
Sometimes yes, sometimes with me.
Sometimes with you. Okay.
But it was
were you
really
allowed
weird.
to stay there?
Yeah. We asked the director, like this was a friend of ours. He allowed us to stay there, not long, but a little. And then
and they let you go to the school for free?
Oh, that's a circus school for urban dances like hip hop and stuff. It's for free for everyone.
So you're you do urban hip hop dancing.
Yeah, we don't call it urban hip hop. It's just hip hop because hip hop is urban.
Yeah.
And then break dance and stuff. There's a lot of things, locking, popping, like a lot of dance kind of how do you say styles, and it's just a different world. It's so cool.
It's so cool.
It's so cool, the world. Yeah. Anyway, and we stayed at the school, had no money, and I came up with this idea like, yo, shouldn't we go to the Turkish Got Talent? And he was like, what? I was like, no, but we need money. We can win this. Believe me. If I do the shows, I'm a good trainer. I have vision. Let's do it. And we did it. And I did the first year alone, became second in the final. Second year, we did it together. We became second again. And from there, it became like the rest really became history, because when I was in the show, the guy who owns the show were in the jury, like in the judges, on the judges part. And he's like one of the richest guys in Turkey and also a manager and everything. And then he started to manage me 8 years. And
wow.
Yeah, he took me just out of nowhere. And then my life started in Turkey. It was crazy.
That's super interesting.
Yeah.
And so where did that lead you? Where did you go?
So in the beginning, I did these shows. Then he asked me, the manager asked me if I want to do Survivor Turkey. Yeah.
Yeah. I have 100 questions now.
I did it 3 years. I did it 3 times.
You did it 3 seasons. Were you ever voted off the island?
Oh, of course.
How does that feel? Oh my gosh.
Oh, I mean, the first year, it's so funny because I just once were voted by this island, because once the first year I hit a woman I kicked her because she was so mean. And that's not good. I'm not proud of it at all, because she's my friend now. But to this day, she's like apologizing so hardcore because she did so wrong. And I asked her 1,000 times to stop and she couldn't stop. So I had to stop her.
That's horrible.
But it's horrible.
But I love it. I am actually a reality TV junkie. It's my guilty pleasure. I love it. It's my guilty
pleasure now too. But yeah. So yeah, this was the first season. The second season, I was like just 2.5 months there. Like, it was crazy. And they voted me out, whatever, because I was really dangerous for the others, because I'm very strong as a competitor and whatever. And that's totally fine. They made right moves, you know?
Yeah. It's strategy.
It's totally fine. But in this moment, you're just so angry.
Yeah, you want to stay.
Hey, you want to win. You don't want to stay. You want to win.
Yeah, you want to win. You want to get to the end.
Yeah. Totally. And for me, it was always different view. I didn't want it to win because I'm not a person with big ego. I wanted to win because I needed money, for real. And I know I have no other chance to get money, you know? So, yeah. And then after this, it's so funny. I did a series there, like in a movie, like and stuff, and series and stuff. I did it next to all these things. And then they asked me if I want to do boxing with the stars. So I started to train boxing, and then I stepped into the ring.
So you're a boxing with the stars. So it's like dancing with the stars, but
boxing with the stars.
Oh, that's weird.
That's so weird, and it was so dangerous. It's no joke. It's so weird. I don't know how they
like having stars get the shit beat out of them.
Yeah, and without any cover on their face. It's not funny. It's like for real. It was a real stuff. And after this year, I went 1 year again to Survivor, and then everything changes from this season because I broke my leg.
On the show?
On the show.
On Survivor?
On Survivor Turkey. In the show.
Shit.
I broke my leg, and from there, everything started to crumble down. Everything. It was just horrible because then I felt the industry in a different way. If you're useless for the industry, they don't look at you at all ever again. They, even if you cry, if you beg.
There's new people coming in.
Oh, no. You're useless. I broke my leg. He couldn't sell me anymore. So I'm not interesting.
Okay. How did you deal with that? Was it?
It was so depressing because
you probably think these people are your friends. You know, you develop relationships with them, and then all of a sudden,
I didn't know anyone else but them. I was becoming a young lady with them. I was there from 20 to 29, and when I broke my leg, I was 28. So I never thought about what if I break my leg or whatever, and I'm 28 already, so older. But then reality hit me. Yeah, it was so crazy because when I broke my leg, and the operation, 2 surgeries went wrong. I couldn't walk for 2.5 years, and I had to leave Turkey. I had to leave this life, this world. They didn't pick up their phone no more. No emails were answered.
That's horrible.
And then I was
Were you still connected with your family back home, or had you guys not reconnected yet?
I mean, we connected back when I was 23, but I wasn't there. I mean, I went back to Berlin and to my family, and they were just fine, and they're amazing. But I was so lost.
That's what family's for. You know?
But still, I have to be honest. Like, it wasn't. To this day, I struggle with this thought. It's like, this is so unfair. I served him for 8 years. And just because I broke my leg, he would never help again. Never, ever ask me once if I'm fine again, if I can walk again to this day. He doesn't know if I can walk. Maybe because of Instagram, he sees it. But it's crazy. It's hard. But then 2.5 years later, I became this email from MTV in the States for a show. It calls The Challenge. And everybody
on
was
MTV?
Like, yeah. My childhood dream is to become an artist in the States. You know, I don't dream about anything else but America.
Have you been doing the challenge for many years, or?
The thing is, when they asked me to do it, I couldn't walk, so I had to pass. 3 years later, they asked me again, so I could go. But everyone around me were like, "You can't go, Berna. You just walk 1 week. Like, you can't go." I was like, "This is my motivation now. I have to go, stand up, go to training, go work out, and do this stunt show." And I've rocked it. I did a great job as a one person who just struggled before, you know?
Yeah. So for those who don't know, what is the challenge?
The challenge is a reality TV sports show, a stunt show, I would say. It's like you do every day, like you live, there are like 37 people in one house. They're always paired up. And you do stunts every day. Like Monday you do a stunt. If you win it, you can stay for 1 more week. And
these are stunts like jumping from car to car, or they're speeding
any
down,
kind
or
of stunts. It's crazy.
Jumping off cliffs or what?
Cliffs, helicopters, car to car, everything you can just imagine.
That just seems like it's really dangerous, but it seems like it's so fun.
It is so
much adrenaline.
Fun, but so dangerous as well. And also, you know, of course it's a reality TV show because we've been filmed 24/7, but then at the same time, it's the most quality full reality TV because it's not about dating. It's not about whatever.
Hey, dating reality TV shows are really good. Okay,
It's good, but it's not that qualityful because in the end,
there's more substance when you have something you're passionate about.
I think dating shows, it's amazing to have a good night and whatever to watch. Yeah. But the people in this show, I don't really believe that they know what they're going through afterwards, because they think really they fell in love. They cry their hearts off.
Oh, they cry so much on those shows.
But it's for real. I had the same thing. And on the challenge, I fell in love with a guy. After that, I didn't know what to do because I didn't felt the same thing ever again. It is the magic of this moment in the show. After this, it changes. And then you were just so confused with yourself because you were honest. You were really loving. But where is it now? It's gone. The camera's off. The feelings are off. It's so weird. That is what it is. That is what happens. Because in this dating shows, you don't have a phone. You don't have the real world. You're in a different world. And so you have to connect with these people who are around you. But when you're in the real world, you wouldn't maybe look at this person.
Yeah, I think sometimes when you're put in these like controlled tanks.
Yeah, it's so controlled. And it's also so the people who cast them, they're so good in it. Of course, they see your color, their color, and they're like, oh, maybe they could mix their colors, whatever. It's a good show. For the show, it's amazing. Nothing else matters. But as a human being, really with heart and soul in this show, afterwards it can be really dangerous for you because you're lost. You don't know what to do. You're confused with yourself. But back to the challenge, it's an amazing show because there is a different perspective. It's a sports perspective, and it's about that. If you're good in it, you become good and far, and then you can win $1 million. It's a lot of money.
Every season they have $1 million on them.
I don't know where they have it from, but yeah, they have it.
Do you know all the winners from the past and everything?
No, that was my biggest mistake. I think everybody before the show, they were like studying the show before they went there, and I'm just a typical Berliner. Berlin people just jump into it and they don't care we don't care if there is a superstar next to you. In Berlin, is it like this, if somebody sits next to you in the cafe and the people are like, oh my God, do you know who this is? Berlin people are like, do he knows who I am? We don't really care if you're whatever you are. But this was a mistake. I should have studied it a little more.
Are you going to go again for another season? We hope.
Yeah. So yeah. I think I see myself there again. I think the people will see me too, because I really do believe, and I think you're the first person official that I say that I do believe that I will win this $1 million.
Manifest it, girl.
No, I do feel it.
I believe it.
And I'll
be there. I'll watch you.
I feel it. And don't call me then. Call me now. Also without money. Because people only call when you get money. No, but I really feel that I can win this show. I really feel that.
Yeah. I mean, does it matter? How do you win the show? Does it matter people voting in for you, or do you get a certain number, point score, and then at the end you win? Or
it's a mix with everything. If you win the daily challenge, like it's one day in a week, you always are safe from elimination.
Oh, okay.
So
each week, people get eliminated.
Exactly. But if you win the weekly challenge, then you stay. But sometimes it's not good to win the weekly challenge, because then you get targeted.
Yeah, people get jealous and
totally. So you have to have a good strategy, a good partner who stays calm.
How do you find your partner?
It's different. Sometimes you choose yourself. Sometimes I don't know. It's always a different theme, So how the theme goes, that's how it goes. But I'm hoping for a season where it's like a cutthroat season. It means when you stay for yourself, because I work good in a team, but I'm myself the best when I'm alone, Nobody can win me when I'm alone. And I don't say ever, but normally if I'm alone, I can be concentrated because I don't get emotional in these moments. But when I'm with someone, then I get emotional.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I would say the same. I can work in teams and I can be calm or whatever, but I'm better alone as well.
Yeah, it's just you know how you can build your own strategy and you don't have to explain it to the other side.
Yeah, exactly. So they have this. I went to this leadership camp when I was in college, and there's like a test that everyone takes individually, and then they take it together as a group. And essentially, they put you in this hypothetical situation where there's been an earthquake, and you're in the basement. You're trapped in there. You have a sandwich. You have this heater. You have all these different things, and you I guess prioritize what you would do to survive for the next 5 days because no one's going to come in and save you.
Oh my God, that's so scary.
So I would do my answer and they would give you a text, and the text would give you context clues on how what's important to survive. So I read the text and I was like using the text to figure out how to survive in this earthquake, life or death situation. And
but how would you know?
How would you know?
I mean, it's always different when it really happens.
I know, but this is just a way to think of how people think and how
works.
they strategize
Okay.
Their logistics and how they would react in the situation given a certain knowledge. So you're given a certain knowledge and then you react and you say what you're going to do. And everyone did it and they scored their score. And we recorded it. We didn't tell anyone. And then we had to work together as a group. And I kept telling the group, the only thing we have here is the text, the knowledge from which to work on. Let's use that to develop our strategy. And they kept saying, no. And I was like, fine. Okay, you guys do it how you want to do it. So we had our group score, which was better than everyone's scores except for mine. Mine was better than everyone else's score. I think differently than people.
Yeah.
The way my brain works is just different.
When I was a child, I always thought I'm an alien for real. But not with a name, with the title alien, but different, you know? Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I always thought I'm the chosen one. I don't know why.
I know it's weird. I know it's super weird. But when I was growing up too, I was like, I'm going to be a famous actress. I'm super special. Like I always thought I was super special.
I think we are then, you know.
Some people have the argument that no one is special.
Okay.
So we should get rid of that idea.
I know what they mean. I know. I think we all are same important. That's what they say when we say no one is special. Because if somebody says I'm special, people think you put yourself higher.
Superiority.
Yeah, and that's not what I mean when I say I'm special.
It means that you're different and you have a different set of skills that aren't the norm.
That's why it's also with these words and these languages and people, it's always about the perspective, how you say it, what you mean, the intuition. That's why you always. That's what I learned from me. If you talk with someone, you first have to figure out if you're in the same wave. Mm-hmm. Because if you are serving in a different way, if you talk about different water, you talk about different things, and that makes no sense, and you will never come into a vibe. Because you talk about different things. Because if I say, I don't know. It's like how you use words also, People use words differently. And I didn't knew this for a long time because people always said to me like, oh my God, you're so straight and you're so harsh and blah, blah, blah. But I meant it so kind. So now I needed to learn, okay, the people just are on a different wave. They mean the same thing, or I mean the same thing as them, but we talk different language. Yeah. So that's also really important that you have to be in the same room, brain-wise, When you talk to someone about even the things when you say you're different or special, that they don't think you think you're different and special better than them.
Yeah, you have to understand the meaning behind the words. And I think linguistics is a huge oversimplification of feelings on the inside.
I think, and now I know what I wanted to say is like, I talk words by emotion, And some people talk words by language, how it should work. Like the language, like this word means this, so I use this. But for me, I always say things with emotional background. And that's why sometimes it doesn't really work for people who just use it like the word should be, you know?
I think it's words may capture an essence of feeling and emotion, but by no means does it capture what the true meaning of it is.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's a hard thing because I also talk in pictures and stuff. You know, for me,
in emojis.
No, I think this language doesn't really reflect my emotions a lot of times. So I struggle with language.
I struggle with it too, honestly. Like I have a hard time. Sometimes if a situation happens, it can be romantically, it can happen in a friendship or at school or in my job, whatever it may be. Something may happen and I'll get overwhelmed with emotions and I'm supposed to talk about it in that moment, but I cannot. I need days to process.
You know why I feel it? When I feel it the most, what you explain? When I listen to music. People are like, how do you like the song? Or how do you feel about that? Or, oh my God, you dance so cool. What do you feel? And they want me to explain it. And I just start to try to explain it. And in this moment, I feel it's not this what I feel.
It's inauthentic.
It's not. And that makes me so weird. Then, then I'm like, oh no, now it sounds so simple. I mean it so much more. I mean it fully, Yeah, I have it with music. When I hear to music, what makes me feel crazy, sad or crazy happy or whatever, I don't have words, just as I said, then I feel it. I cannot explain it then. I have it a lot of times in clubs when out of nowhere a song comes that I never heard in a club or whatever. And then I feel so out of this place I am in. And feel so high on the sound, high on the music in it. And I'm like, oh God, it takes me away from everything. So I can't explain this because people are like, oh my God, you look so, you enjoy this right now, right? And I'm like, to say just yes, it's not enough. It's more than a yes,
Yeah. And so you're into music now. You said you started an album. What have you always sang? I mean, what made you want to start pursuing music?
So when I was like around 12, we had a band at home next to the circus time. We had like a band with my brother. He played the drums, the battery, the drums, and I did the piano and sing. And we wrote our own songs, English songs. So funny because English wasn't our language really, but we did.
Did you learn English growing up or did you already know it?
I learned English in the circus mostly. I've heard it there mostly, but then my hero is Eminem. And it's so weird. Eminem doesn't know, but he's my teacher.
He's gonna know now.
Now he's my English teacher. It's so weird.
Eminem?
Yeah, Eminem. Because
his songs,
Yeah, his songs. The songs of Eminem made me feel so sad. Or I don't want to say he made me sad, but I felt so sad and so acknowledged and understood by his sound. So I needed to know what he's singing about because I was like, oh my God, that touches me so differently than any other song or artist that I ever heard. So I need to know what it is. But back in the days, it wasn't the lyrics like when you write on Google now, like lyrics by, blah, 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 it comes out.
It was in the CD, you had to pull out the paper?
No, you had to what CD? We had no money for CD. I had never had a CD from anything.
Yeah.
I went to the one computer that we had in home and internet, and I sneaked myself in the night. And it was in my bedroom, and my brother was there. And until 5 o'clock in the morning, word by word, I translated his songs every day. And my brother hated me, and he hated Eminem then. Of course, he loves him now again. But then he was like, stop it. I want to sleep. We have to go to school tomorrow. And I was like, no, please. I wanted to know about all these songs. And that's how I learned English. Really, for real. That's crazy.
I heard that from a lot of people. They're learning English from songs or from watching American TV with the subtitles.
I mean, in Germany we have like the synchronized stuff, so I never learned. I always saw these movies, the big classic movies and everything in German, because we have the over voiced synchronized stuff. Yeah, we don't have like English TV with German subtitles. We have this German words, you know. So I never learned from movies or whatever. I learned from songs. If I really wanted to know, then I translated them.
Yeah, when I was learning Spanish and Portuguese, I would use songs to help teach me. But the problem I have as an English speaker is that we're not used to having all of the conjugations based off the subject.
Yeah.
So I feel like when you guys are listening to the English versions, you have much less to remember in terms of verbs and everything just is one word.
Yeah. It's a simple, straight language.
Yeah. But yeah, when I was growing up, I thought that's just the way things are supposed to be. And that's how language is set up. And I remember being so frustrated when I would learn Spanish. I'm like, why is there 6 different subject conjugations for
because there's
to live?
Every emotion has a different word.
Yeah, kinda. I mean, it felt so like super complicated, but I think now I'm starting to get the hang of it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I grew up in such a small, isolated place that I thought that that's the way that things are supposed to be.
Yeah, totally. That's what I said. Wherever you are coming from, your experiences, that's the truth for you.
It's the truth. And then you go out. Yeah. And I just remember feeling crying a lot and feeling so much frustration. But those were huge growing pains for me to become who I am today.
Or like racism, for me, it was normal until like you said, went to the world and saw people who said it's not normal, or you can say something, or then you change.
Yeah, they think that's weird that you're doing that, but you think that's normal, and
you don't know better.
You don't know better. You don't know.
Yeah.
It's
but
super
then,
interesting.
as you said, if you start, then it's on you if you're ignorant or not. If you want to learn, then you're just on the best part. You're on the best path, and you will be becoming richer and richer. But then there are people, they're like, no, everything what the other people say or the other worlds or system says is like wrong, and my thought is right. And these people are just like trash.
Yeah. Yeah. So you told me that you really want to reach your full potential. The purpose of the podcast is to talk about what is your buried dreams. Like, even as an artist, and you've had your successes along the way, and I'm sure you've met goals and goals and goals, and each time you meet a goal, you ask yourself, what's next? What do you envision as your fullest potential? What is your buried dream?
Oh, that's so cool, the question, because I'm always saying I'm a Quacksilver kind of person. Like, my buried dream is always the same, I would say, but then also always different, because I'm not one kind of artist. I do a lot of things. So for every aspect, I have a different kind of buried dream. And but as Berna, just as a whole person,
your full potential.
Yeah, I think as an example, when I would give an example, it's like Jennifer Lopez, I would say. That's what I would dream of. Like, she's doing acting, singing, dancing, on stage, off stage, on camera, off camera. This is my dream, and acknowledged. Because I don't want to get acknowledged for my ego. I don't want to get fame or rich for me. I really want to become rich and acknowledged and fame now. I never would say that a year ago from now. But now I think people like me should go this high and should get this attention and everything, because we would give back.
Yeah.
And this is my dream.
It's really genuine and sweet.
This is my dream. My dream is not because, to get money or to get a little bit of fame for a second. I think you can get it like that. I don't want that. I talk about really acknowledged and people who listens to you just because you're a person who always wanted to evolve and learn and give back. So it's like a circle of health. Actually, it's not for you, it's for us. And if this starts to work for me, then it's my potential. Then I'm on my fully, like, then I'm there. What I want to go, where I want to go. I want to have a circle who never stops somewhere. I want to give and take, as an artist, as me too.
I think it's really rare to find people that have that type of mentality. I think a lot of people get addicted to the external validation. And I think it's really beautiful what you said about wanting to give and take. And it made me tear up a little bit because, a lot of people dream of fame, but not in these genuine ways,
I know, that's what I said. I have a lot of people around me who I'm so sad for them. Not sad for them. I'm sorry. I'm not sad for them because they're amazingly talented and so big motivation to me and idols. When I said sad, I meant some people will never get their chances to live their fully potential because of this system. And when I say that, it's like my biggest fear is to one day wake up and be this woman who had this beautiful thought and dream and everything I am, but couldn't reach it because of others. That's my biggest fear. It's not because of me. If it's about me, I will reach it. It's about other people who make the choices.
Yeah.
That would break my heart for me because I see people who were teared down by insecurities and the system and they never will reach it. I see it already. They gave up, but they're so good, And I don't want to become this person. So for me, by the way, my idols as a child to this day were always people who were genuine and kind, even though I didn't know them, but I saw it.
Can you recall any?
Yeah. Oh my God. Like even like Britney Spears and stuff. Believe me.
Britney Spears is my idol.
No, listen, when I saw her as a child, I saw that she's like me. She doesn't know what she's doing, but she's so strong. And as she becomes older, she became younger by spirit. Just as I told you.
Yeah. She does become younger by spirit.
Yeah, and that's what I told you when I said I become older by age, but more childish insecurity. But at the same time, stronger, whatever. I cannot explain it by words, as I also said. And it's like Britney Spears. It's like for real J-Lo. It's like some people there. I know a lot of people I have a lot of people. And then, I've... just today again on Instagram, I saw my favorite speech of all time. I have 2-3 favorite speeches of all time from these known celebrities in this world. One is from Angelina Jolie when she's getting an award. I don't know about her because she seems really kind and beautiful. But this speech, and I now take her. I don't take her by Angelina Jolie. I take her by a woman who's so open and so honest, and that's what I love.
Yeah, well, that's
people.
the impression I got from her was from interviews. It seems like she's very open and honest. I don't know her as a human being. I can't say. I just know her from
She's actually what we talked about. She's not ignorant, and that's the most important for an artist. If you're not artist and ignorant, it means you're not an artist. You can't be ignorant when you're an artist. You can't. It's a death for your passion coming. Like the way where it comes into you. If you're ignorant, there is a wall. It cannot touch you. It's stupid. You cannot evolve with ignorance. Just not possible. And she had a speech where she said, I try to quote it. I'm not really one by one word, but she said I don't understand why this is my life. And I don't know why I'm the lucky one here, but I just know that another woman, just with the same abilities as me and the same talents and everything, what I do, just maybe better or the same, is somewhere in the refugee camp or somewhere without a deck on her head and had no food to eat or nothing, for the children. And I'm standing here and accepting an award. But what I know is that as my mother said, be the best version, give back and take, what she said. And when I heard this and I was younger, it was a long time ago, I started to tear up so much because I was so ashamed about my thoughts until this day, because I wanted to be rich and everything for me before that. Not in my heart, but from outside, because I was scared. When I listened to it, I was like, okay, that's what I live for. This is what when I'm open up, this is what I want to go for. And this is for real me, because I always thought to this day, and I always think that the most attractive people are the kind and the helping people, in guys even. I love guys. And I think the most beautiful guys are the most attractive guys. When I could rip off their clothes, it's like when they're kind and helpful.
Yeah, for sure.
I love this. I love this on a person.
I think it's worth more than like amazing physical attributes. It's like what's first matters is the kindness and the thoughtfulness and the conscientiousness and
the real one, because people, as you said, use it for their good, and then it's toxic, because if they use it for their good, and in the beginning you cannot separate it.
Well, the thing about looks is it's not something that's attained unless you've had unless you pay for it, but
for their good. You like also kind and nice and helping people, right? But sometimes people act like they're kind and nice and helping just because they want the credits for it.
Yeah.
And this is what it's really dangerous, because you, as a naive, beautiful person on the other side,
of course I've fallen into these traps.
And I hate this. That's why I want that the power goes to people like me and us,
Yeah.
And because we don't call it power, we call it sharing,
Sharing.
Yeah, we don't call it power.
Yeah, I don't think humans are meant to have that much power, we're meant to share.
Like I just think I think it's just it's about chances, and the chances are so hard to get. That's all I'm scared about.
Yeah,
because it's not always my choice or your choice, because a lot of people around me be like, Berna, you're so talented and you look beautiful for the system, blah, blah, blah. If you would really want, you would be so much more there and there. And I'm like, no, I really want, but people don't want.
They don't want to give the power away to people like us because they want to keep the control. It's about control.
It's also the chances to get, it's not that easy. You have to do things for that. And people like me, like you, I would now just think, wouldn't do things like that. Because in this industry, dark places are in. There are for real.
You hear about it, that it was happening in the old days, but it's still happening to this day, yeah?
Oh my God, it's more than ever. It's crazy because everything is so more fake.
Yeah, and it also seems like the society now, it's like the hookup culture, it's really normal. I feel a lot of people, just think of it as normal, but I don't know. I can't imagine a girl being in that situation of like somebody in power, maybe very rarely, that they're thinking, oh, this is hot, I want this. Like someone is in power and I'm trying to get what I want. I'm horny for this.
Yeah.
I feel like it's very rare. I feel like most girls who are put in that situation are feeling like very uncomfortable.
Oh, they feel they have to do it, otherwise there is no way. A lot of people. And that's so sad because that's not the case.
Did you watch the new Marilyn Monroe film?
Oh my God, I just watched it 3 days ago.
Yeah.
And
they had a scene in the movie where she was
doing this. Yeah, I know. I think it's horrible, but in the same time, she was really a sick person who took it from the sick mother, I think. I think she really took it from her. But as they showed, I don't know the real life. I don't know her. It's just as they showed us. But a few days ago, I watched Elvis movie. And that's the best example how the industry goes.
Yeah.
That's the best example, yeah, for men as well. If you are under power from an asshole who's so much more intelligent than you before you become this intelligent, then you're fucked. Then you're fucked because then you're already wrapped up in these things. If you are getting intelligent by time, which is totally normal. Intelligent, I mean by the scene where you are, because every scene has a different intelligence, and you have to understand, you have to understand the scene. You have to get to it, blah, 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 blah. And as a woman, you understand it more in a harder way sometimes, but also men have this, And Elvis is the best example that you can be so known and so working, but has no power at all.
I don't know much about Elvis's story. I grew up in Tennessee, though.
Yeah, you should watch it because he's a big history changer. Yeah, he's a big change. He's a big important person.
Yeah. I mean, definitely he was part of my culture growing up, and I know he has his house in Memphis that you can go. What is it called?
The thing is, it's even this house and everything. It's so bitter, sour, bitter, sweet.
It's sad. I mean, I think it's a pretty normal looking house, and
no, I mean the history behind it. Like, just watch the movie.
Okay, I'll watch it. It has that actor who's dating Kaya Gerber. Austin Butler.
He's the hottest guy in the world.
He's very, very handsome.
No, I mean, I want to say my favorite and what I want to meet forever and for sure is Harry Styles. I think he's the kindest person ever. And he's, of course, the hottest.
Well, one thing I love about Harry Styles is that he dresses like a woman, does not give a fuck. I love that.
For me, he dresses like a man,
he's masculine. He's a masculine person, but he's very comfortable with feminine fashion, and that is something I adore.
I think actually fashion has no gender, and that's what he wants to show.
Exactly, and that's how I believe. I believe that gender does not have a
fashion. Yeah, no gender.
Yeah, fashion does not have a gender. And, some days I'm feeling more masculine. Some days I'm feeling more feminine. Some days I'm feeling somewhere in between.
We all have the same. We all have all of this, what you just said, in us,
It's a spectrum, really.
For me, I'm officially, like, I always say to my friends, I'm so in love with this person. And if we would know each other, there would be not 1 second that we wouldn't get married. For real. No.
I think he's getting married to Olivia Wilde.
I think they're not married, yeah. But I don't care. It's not about him. It's about this kind of person. This is the most, just as you said, I like the people who are just like so in center with themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I love it.
It's so attractive. And then
it is really attractive. Yeah. I want to say I'm ashamed, but I'm not. I was listening to the Harry Styles album on my way to Berlin from Portugal.
Oh my God, of course. I love him.
It's so good.
Stop.
It's so good. Yeah, I know. I see on my Instagram he's touring right now. All the girls are like at his concert.
I'm dying. I never had that in my life. I never had a crush or someone I wanted to meet so bad. But J-Lo and Harry Styles. These two people.
J-Lo is she's like a wonder.
She is me.
She's a wonder. I don't understand how, one, she looks the way that she does in her 50s. I mean, she looks like she's in her 30s. She looks amazing. She's so talented. I was just watching her. She got married to Ben Affleck, and there was a video of her doing this wedding dance. She made a whole performance. She had a backup dancers, like a couple of backup dancers, just performing this song to Ben Affleck. And
which one? Do you remember?
I don't remember which one, but it's like for someone to have that type of confidence. I mean, she just knows what she's doing.
Oh my God. I think
she's a born performer.
Yeah, totally. Do you watch her documentary?
No.
Oh, I watched it also. Anyway,
let me write it down. I'll write it down. I'll watch the J-Lo documentary.
Yeah, on Netflix. But she is
it's on Netflix?
Yeah.
In Germany, huh? Maybe not in US.
I think everywhere.
Okay,
because
yeah,
she promoted
probably.
it. So
Okay, yeah, then it's everywhere.
So yeah. Anyway, these are the. That's why I think. That's why I want to become big. It's not because just me. It's because if I become big, people like me will think that they have more chances. It's like when J-Lo became big, I thought I have a chance, you know?
Yeah.
Or like for her, I think we have more role models who are good, different looking, diverse for our new future who's coming. You know?
Now more than ever, you're saying we have
always. We always need good role models, not fake role models. And that's what I mean. And I don't talk about role models because I don't want to become a role model, but you become a role model when you get into the eye of the people. And that's totally fine. You can be a role model and have a lot of mistakes. That's totally fine.
Yeah, and you see that today. There's a lot of famous people that are put into this role model position, even though they didn't really assume that role. They have to grow into that role because so many people depend on them. That people.
Yeah, but then again, it's fake. That's what I mean.
It's fake. I mean, it's fake from them.
Not from the.
Or do you think like the audience looking up to them as like saviors? Or
no, I think it's a fake from the management. Because the artist and the fans, they have nothing to do with it. The
I don't know, but you see these YouTube stars where they're not managed.
Of course they are managed. A lot of people are managed. You have no idea.
Yeah.
Really. It's all managed. A lot of things. You wouldn't think about it. You would be shocked.
Yeah, I have no experience in the entertainment industry.
Everyone, believe me. A lot of people are managed. It's crazy. It's not even managed by a big company or something, but by like, you know, it's all made.
Someone's telling them, "Oh no, you shouldn't do that because this will
this will totally
happen."
Calculated a lot of
calculated,
times. Yeah. A lot of times, yeah. And that's what it should be. It's like when you should be in this way. When I say when it's good calculated, it's cool, because of course you have to take care of what you say and whatever. Of course, I'm now 100% honest with my words, but still, I try to take care what words I try to use. If there is someone who would take it differently and maybe go on a different path that I want to say, you know. So I think calculated in different way, it's okay. But what we talk what I say to you when I say calculated, it's what you mean, like calculated, like this fake thing, you know.
It's fake, yeah.
A lot of things are fake. A lot of things. I know it because I have a lot of friends in the industry.
Yeah, the first thing that comes to my mind are apologies that people put out, those PR apologies after something comes out, like Adam Levine.
Oh, I don't know Adam Levine, but it's not them.
Yeah, no, they have a PR, they have their PR firm writing out the apology, and the apologies sound very scripted.
Really, and this is the thing. Do you remember when someone big apologized from their heart, like Justin Bieber did?
Oh my gosh, I was going to say like the one person I think in my head that feels super genuine when they
apologize to Shawn Mendes and Justin Bieber and Camila Cabello, these kind of people.
Yeah, you feel it. You can tell when things are genuine or not. But like when Adam Levine, I read that apology, I was like,
no, he's putting his wife into the apology. Like, what the fuck? You know, we will go through this. Can you stop talking for her?
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, it's like I also don't have any idea about what their relationship is like. No, I don't talk about
their relationship, but about the words.
Or like if they have, just the words.
It's scripted.
I have no idea about this situation, but you know, it always shows up on your news timeline or something like, oh, someone had to issue an apology.
For me too. I don't really stalk magazine, but I look up my people that I like. For sure.
Yeah.
I look up what they do or what their last interviews were. My favorite shows are Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, I love Jimmy.
Favorite show, and James Corden. These two.
Yeah, they're so funny. They're really talented people.
God, I watched it with a different eye. I watched it with this. I manifested I'm sitting there one day.
You will. I believe it. Manifest it.
Yes.
Well, so you have music coming out in February, right?
it's planned. You never know with me and with me and the dates. You never know.
Is that album finished?
No, first we were thinking. So music these days is different than when I was young. I've heard now, and that's also a thing that I have to learn, that it's better to bring singles out and blah, 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 blah. And now I was like going with it. I was like, okay, let's just bring one single out and another one, blah, blah, blah. But I want to do it old school a little, you know. I want to do a little EP album kind of thing, like 4 or 5 songs. And then I want to bring one out and the next are coming, you know, with the album and stuff.
Yeah, take your time, enjoy the process.
Totally. And now I just
do it for fun. Don't do it for like.
Actually, for me, I do music. Yeah, of course, for fun, but also then again for stage. I want to be.
Yeah, that's fun for you. Yeah. Like you enjoy that. It's your passion. You like to entertain. You like to have the energy of the crowd, and I mean that it takes a special person. And
yeah, since I'm a child, I catched myself watching bands and girl bands and boy bands and people, but not. I always watched live performances. I don't really care for radio music, like not radio music, but I don't.
So
just
pop. Like
I need concerts. I need visual.
Yeah.
Shows into it.
Oh, okay. You mean
that's
like
what I mean.
Radio versus live.
Yeah, I like live much more. Acoustic, live. I like seeing mistakes on stage. I love that. I do understand it when the band is too loud and the singer is like saying, "Put my microphone higher" and stuff. I love these things. I live for these moments. So I catch myself in them. So when I did music, I always, with my inner eye, I see myself performing this song. Is what I do. I love that. I can't wait. And actually, my song, what I did is
what genre?
It's soul. It's my first song will be Turkish soul.
Interesting.
Yeah, and that's actually my history in Turkey. Like this first song is about not listening to others, to believe in yourself. And I know how it feels to be alone in your room, looking to the mirror and go crazy.
Yeah. How has songwriting? I feel like songwriting is super. I've tried to write a song, and it feels super vulnerable.
Oh my God, so weird to me. I don't know if I
feel like an emotional teenager.
Yeah, you should be. That's the most right thing, I think.
Yeah.
I couldn't say anything to anyone in the position of being a songwriter because I'm not. I do write them myself. Like I wrote my songs by myself, but not because I'm a songwriter, just because I speak and can write. And I have history, and that's it. I don't know what to say about that subject. It's just it came out and it sounded great and made sense, and I recorded it. It's not that I wrote a song. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I hope we can get an exclusive sneak peek organized for the end of this podcast. That would be perfect. I would love that.
So funny and weird to me because this is, and you don't know that, Elle, but for real, I dreamed about talking about my music one day. It's like so funny. Okay.
Well, I'm
like,
so happy to hear that
you
realized
like, oh my
this.
God, I want to be like on Radio 1 one day, our heart radio, sitting there and talking about really just specific about the music. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I hope it so much. But I hope so much, you see what I just said in an hour, what I all hope again, It's just me. I love to dream.
Yeah, I think just keep doing what you're doing and do what you love, and it seems like you've paved the path for yourself already, and I think it can only go up from here with like the passion that you show.
I always say I'm fucked because I'm stuck.
You're stuck.
Yeah, I'm stuck in my passion, and I love that.
Yeah.
I don't want to change it. And if you don't want to change something, then you have to deal with it. Because I don't want to change it. I want to do all this, what I just said. I don't want to do anything else.
It's like love. It's so rewarding, but it can be so painful.
People always say love is blind. I say always passion is blind too,
Yeah, it is. I 1000% agree with that.
Yeah, because maybe sometimes passion is stronger than love, because I don't always get love from my passion, but my passion always stays.
Yeah. I get it 100%.
Yeah.
Well, Berna, thank you so much for being on the podcast. It's been an amazing conversation. I feel like I've gotten to know you in a deep way, and I'm looking forward to like knowing you after this as well.
Do you know that you sound like an angel? Your sound in my ears is like, "Hi, Berna." Yeah, it's so nice to. It's so sweet. It's so cool.
Yeah, I've been in the background of a phone call, and someone's like, "Do you have a child in the background?" Because my voice is so soft. It's getting a little bit deeper as I get older, which I think helps. But when I was younger, my voice was intolerable. It was so high pitched and annoying.
Because you talk also with your emotions. That's what you do. Because if you would, I mean, my voice is really low, but still, it's like
you have a nice voice as well. Yeah, I can't wait to hear you sing. Maybe you can show me. Do you have any stuff on your phone?
Yeah.
After this, you can show me. Yes. Okay, well,
and I want that your friend do my video clip, huh?
Till Van Loosen, yes, he's an incredible photographer, videographer.
Oh, he's just a perfection.
He's fabulous. Yeah. He's perfection. Yeah, okay.
Shout out to you, Till.
Shout out Till Van Loosen.
He's single, guys.
Yeah, all you boys out there. Okay.
And models.
Yeah, and models too. We know Till loves his models. Okay. Male models. So you can find Berna on Instagram at Berna Canbeldek official, and on Twitter at Berna Canbeldek. Yeah, and I am looking forward to your new season on the challenge. I hope I get to see you on there, and I hope that you get casted and everything works out fine. And
it looks fine. I hope too.
I hope. And then looking out for your new album. Thank you.
Thank you, Elle.
Bye.
Bye.